Hello, my name is Aaron Gershon, and for my literature review, I took a look at conflict, specifically in romantic relationships. And I think my first major takeaway, it's kind of simple, but conflict is just something that everyone deals with, whether it's a disagreement, a bad situation, just a, just anything that causes stress. I mean, it's inevitable that everyone in life is going to go through multiple conflicts. And another takeaway for me is when going and looking at the romantic relationship side of it, it kind of really hit home because it's not in my personal romantic relationship with my girlfriend, but I grew up with a stepmother who was pretty verbally aggressive toward my dad, still is to this day, but we're not going to get into that as much. On numerous occasions, it's turned into loud screaming matches, and my dad's kind of just ended up pretty hopeless and not knowing what to do. And that I really wanted to know, like, why some people just don't know how to resolve conflict, and sometimes why. The takeaway again was that some people resolve conflict by simply doing nothing and leaving it, and complying to whatever demands the other person wants, even if they're the one being verbally aggressive. So, for example, my stepmom being so verbally aggressive, she'll find a way to push the blame to my dad to cause her to act that way. And instead of fighting for what he believes in, he just gives up and he gives in to her demands in a way. And it's frustrating. So I guess my final big takeaway before getting into the organization I found is that, in romantic relationships, conflict is even more frustrating because it's usually a disagreement with someone you love, and then passion gets into it, and it can just be pretty messy. And really, like I was touching on earlier, and what Peterson and Benjamin from 2017 found is that everyone really has different ways of handling conflict, and unfortunately, one way is to just, that was a common resolution, was just being compliant and letting it go. And to me, that's just not acceptable, because you're not going to get what you want out of it by just accepting what one person's saying and letting it go. So I think that overall, biggest takeaway is that everyone can use help with conflict resolution and management, and that's why I want to take a look at the Conflict Resolution Center that's located here in actually Montgomery County, Maryland, right outside Washington, D.C. I'm spending the summer here on internship, so when I dug into everything and did some research, because it's kind of like a broad topic to find a nonprofit, this was the one that really stuck out to me. So a little background on the CRMC: it's celebrating its 20th anniversary this year. It's located here in Montgomery County, and their mission is to strengthen communities piece by piece, and that comes with managing conflict. And when you hear community, you're probably thinking, oh, they're trying to best manage conflicts happening within the town you're living in. But no, that's part of what they're doing. They're also trying to help you resolve conflict in your home. Excuse me. And romantic relationships come into that, of course, because often you're living with a partner. So I feel like this organization really can help teach some positive ways to handle conflict, bring light into why some people are more aggressive than others, and then really just let you calm down and really think about how you can resolve conflict. So this group's been around for 20 years, and they've found different ways to help people handle conflict through different services. So one of them is conflict training. So it's basically like a class like we're in, just in person, and they teach you different ways to handle conflict, and they do so by kind of giving you an example of a conflict and then going through the scenario and teaching you what you should do to get out of the problem. And that goes along with another service they have, which is conflict management. And that's really the side of, okay, you have the conflict, how do I manage it? And they have different ways and workshops actually where you go through the conflict, but this time you're managing the situation, where in the training you're kind of just learning the conflict and learning all about what conflict is and everything. But with the management, you're given a scenario and you have to actually work it out, and they'll offer you tips and advice to improve your conflict management based on that. And the last service that they had that stuck out to me was meditation, which sounds kind of corny, but staying calm in conflict is really key, because when you have someone who's verbally aggressive, you don't want to be yelling back at them, because then it's just going to lead into an even worse situation. So if you're able to stay calm, and meditation, I guess it's supposed to help you, cope and keep yourself calm on the inside. If that's going to work, hey, by all means, it's worth a shot and giving it a try. And the CRMC has that, and I think it's worth everyone's time. So all these services at the end, their goal is to ultimately limit conflict, but when there is conflict, teach you how to best, get through the situation without just complying to someone's demands, but also not leading to a huge, crazy fight, which is no fun for anyone. So I really think this organization helps people deal with any type of conflict, and I think it helps you learn. If you realize like conflict is always like inevitable, it's going to happen, but if you can find ways to go and learn how to resolve it better deal with it, that you're just going to be in better shape when these conflicts come into play. And this nonprofit does an excellent job at making sure that you're prepared for these moments of conflicts that are inevitable, and you're going to be able to best handle it. And I really feel like the CRCMC in Montgomery County is just an awesome place for that, and it's almost as if it's just perfect, because who would think of a nonprofit that's just there to handle conflict of any sort? And this one does, and it gives you strategies and, like I said, classes and so much to it. So definitely worth checking out the CRMC Montgomery County. Yes, obviously this class located in Lexington, Kentucky, but they do have online training as well. So that's something to keep in mind. Thank you for your time.